Hi, and welcome back. And let's take a look and see what it takes to make an already fantastic sewing machine much better and much easier to use. I have made several modifications to this machine that'll make it a lot easier to use and be able to sew straighter lines. Number one, I did modify the foot, painted it white, and also made a center mark, which is pink, so that this way, if you're sewing on any kind of dark fabrics or black leather, then you can easily see your foot, what the position is, and also where you want your needle to go, so it'll be right in the middle there. This is very easy to do. I have to repaint it. It has gotten some chips in it, so. Number two, on the handle, I changed the handle. I 3D printed the handle. So this is what it looks like. I had orange when I was doing mine, but now I'm doing them in white, and I also did several in glow-in-the-dark plastics. So for this, all you have to do is take out the original screw in the middle, put this in, and screw it in. I did leave a little bit of a gap here because on the screw, when I screwed it in all the way, at first it bound a little bit, so I made it so that this way it does have a little bit of play in it. Next modification I made is a thread oiler. I just put this on a machine. You use the original screw that comes on this plate. I put it on the right side. You just take the screw out, put that in. Here's the 3D printed part, the way it looks. And to use the oil, I'm gonna put in a cotton ball and then I use this oil. It does a really good job. Bushmaster firearms lubricant and protectant. So the oil does help to keep the thread together so that it doesn't fray, because the thread is a triple twisted thread, and it'll keep it from fraying apart. Next, I made the thread guide. So the thread comes off of your spool, and then this lifts it up a little bit, and then it goes down through the arm and into your tensioner. The reason I did this is because before, when the thread was hanging down without this, then it has a tendency to get wrapped around the spool. So this prevents it from wrapping around the spool and getting stuck. Now, I made this to support this spool, and it's a two-part. This is for spools that are high-capacity spools. This is a high-capacity spool, so when you put it on, it'll keep it in place. It does move around a little bit, but it's not too bad. Then, if you have a lower capacity spool and which has a bigger hole, then you just put this on. This is an adapter, and this will also keep it from moving around a lot. Without this, if you just put the spool on, you'll see that the spool will be at an angle. And what it does, it has a tendency to jerk the thread. Without this thread guide, then the thread will hang down, and it does have a tendency to get caught up around the spool. So these parts were 3D printed by me. This machine I bought on Amazon for $35, and it is aluminum. So I made other thread guides that are magnetic. They have a magnetic base and they stick on a machine. I have two machines that are die cast steel, and this one here is aluminum. Now, something else that I found that works really well is sometimes I have trouble with lighting and you can't get good lighting. So I got this light at Rural King and it was $5. But the nice thing is it has a magnet on it, so you can stick it on the bottom here. And then you have a nice light source for when you want to sew. Now, one of the nice things about this part is that it will make it 100% easier to sew. It'll be a lot easier to turn the wheel. Now, as far as the machine is concerned, I have it adjusted so this way it's very, very simple and very, very light to turn this wheel. One of the problems that you may have is the pitman arm may be bent. When I first bought the first machine, it was very, very tight. I could barely turn this knob. I couldn't turn the wheel, and I took this all apart and I found out that the pitman arm was bent. Now, to bring it back into alignment, I heated it with a torch and then gradually banged on it with a hammer on a small anvil. You don't want to do too much at one time because this is cast iron and it'll break very easily. So once you break this, then trying to weld it and anything else, trying to repair it will be very, very difficult. So I kept taking it off, straightening it out, heating it up, tapping on it, used a ruler to make sure that it's straight, and then finally put it back in. And now it works very, very well. So this is very, very light and very, very easy to use. Be sure to oil your machine on a regular basis. I oil all the joints on a regular basis. I use this, or I use motor oil, which does a good job also. But one thing you may also notice is that I took off the second tension adjustment because you only basically need one. You don't need two. The tension will be very, very easy to set just with one. So depending on what kind of thread you use, and you can also use different threads, but you're gonna have to, if you use a higher thread, I'm using 69 with a number 20 needle, but if you're gonna use a heavier thread, you're gonna need either a 22 or a 24 needle. Now, for all of you that may be interested in these 3D printed parts, I will be doing a giveaway. The rules are included. And you will receive the thread oiler, the knob, the thread guide, and also the spool holder with the adapter. And if you don't have a 3D printer, enter the contest. If you do have a 3D printer, then contact me on my email. It's steelandzena@gmail.com. And what I'll do is then I will email you the STL files that you can then print yourself if you wish. Thank you for watching.